So, hi friends, now we will discuss how this budget is leading to a path of growth. We have seen the guided philosophy of this budget. Now, according to that philosophy, how they are made some announcements in this budget that led to the path of growth. Because the sustainable growth and an inclusive growth both are there in the philosophy of the present government. So, how this particular budget is leading to that sustainable growth we will see in this. And growth can be possible through the investments, and when it comes to the investment, this government has increased the capital expenditure. That means an expenditure that is useful for the creation of a productive assets rather than maintaining day-to-day affairs. That investment on productive assets, we call it as capital expenditure. That capital expenditure has increased from 5.54 lakh crore to 7.5 lakh crore. That means this is last year budget estimate, and the 7.5 lakh crore is this year budget estimate. Around 35% increase in the capital expenditure. And this capital expenditure is going to create some sort of productive assets, and that productive assets will have a multiplier effect on the economy, so that the other sectors will also develop along with that. For example, if I lay a road, this road itself creates employment to the many people, and this road itself allow the more and more development in that particular geographical area, because the connectivity is a very important factor for the growth or development. And if you are able to lay a world class infrastructure with a good amount of road, then definitely it leads to the developmental aspect. And if I invest on modernizing the railway, if I invest on improving the freight transport of railway, then definitely it will reduce the time in supplying of goods or raw material. That improves the economic efficiency of any business organization. So, that is how it promotes the growth. It is not only create the employment, but it is also having a multiplier effect. So, a money which you spend it on any infrastructure projects will have its own multiplier effect. And what are the raw materials that we use in the production, in the facilitation of this infrastructure? Those sectors will get a boost. And again the raw material suppliers to that company, again there will be a boost for them. So, likewise it is going to have a multiplier effect. And this is one most important aspect of this budget, that the capital expenditure is something increased by 35%. And some of the industrialists call this as a capex mahotsav. That means there is a quantum jump in the capital expenditure. This is very good move that lead to the investment, that again leads to the growth. And anyway, you are promoting a growth within qualitative investments that will have an effect on the growth on upcoming years, so that we can achieve a sustained growth. Next, it is not only the central government, but the central government is promoting the state government to spend on this capital expenditure. Now, in this financial year, the union government is providing 1 lakh crore rupees as an interest free loan to the state government for the creation of capital assets. In the last year budget, because of pandemic, all the states said like, we have dearth of financial resources, so please provide some resources so that we can fulfill our own developmental needs. Then on the request of the state governments, last year finance minister has announced initially 10,000 crores, later 15,000 crores for the capital expenditure fund. Now the central government has increased it up to 1 lakh crore. This 1 lakh crore amount of money by the state government on various developmental projects will create infrastructure in the rural areas and also in the semi-urban and also the peri-urban areas. And this investment done by the government will act as some sort of facilitator to the private investment. Because when the investment condition is so poor in the economy, then who has to start that process? That process obviously has to be started by the government, and the government investment process will lead to a creation of a virtuous cycle, thereby it will crowd in the private investment. It will act as some sort of facility to the private people. If the government is investing some money and the people who get the employment, they will get some money, and this money will increases the demand. That demand will act as an incentive for the private people for investing more, because they find some sort of demand in the economy. So the point here is, it is not the central government alone, but the state government are also given 1 lakh crore rupees worth of interest-free loans, so that we can create a productive assets. That productive assets will itself create employment, also promote the growth in the upcoming years, that leads to the sustained growth. Next, PM Gadishakti. This is another important area. So what is this PM Gadishakti? PM Gadishakti is a national level master plan for economic transformation and a seamless multimodal connectivity and logistic efficiency. So there must be an economic transformation and a seamless multimodal connectivity and also logistic efficiency. If you looking into this PM Gadishakti, there are 7 key areas that finance minister or this present government want to emphasize, so that they can improve a complete transformation, or they can have a complete transformation in the economy, and also there must be an improvement in connectivity and also the logistics efficiency. Logistics in the sense the transport of goods. This will act as some sort of incentive for the investors. Now it includes 7 key areas, something like roads, railways, airports, ports, mass transport, waterways and logistic infrastructure, and a national level master plan aimed at world class modern infrastructure and logistic synergy. So by focusing on these 7 areas, what we wanted to do is, we wanted to create a modern infrastructure and also we wanted to improve this logistics efficiency. If you are looking into the logistics cost in India, it is around 14% of GDP, and if we wanted to bring it to at least around to 10% of GDP, if possible 8 to 10% of GDP. That means the logistics cost is very high. If the logistics cost is very high, then the business people, they may don't want to invest in this country, because a lot of money they have to spend it for transportation of the raw materials or the finished products. So this logistics cost must be reduced, and that is the reason why we are going for this PM Gadishakti. Now under this PM Gadishakti, it is not only the projects taken by the union government, but also the infrastructure developed by the state government as per the Gadishakti master plan also included in this Gadishakti. So Gadishakti is not simply a central government one. The state government projects which are as per the Gadishakti master plan can also be considered under this Gadishakti. Now under this Gadishakti, you are having a master plan for expressways. So we wanted to construct more expressways. We are already constructing, but there is a master plan, and we wanted to lay or complete 25,000 kilometers of national highways in this financial year. in this financial year. And if you looking into the budget allocated for the National Highway Authority of India, last year it was 57,350, but this year it has went up to 1,34,015 crore, a quantum jump in the budget allocation to the National Highway Authority of India by the government itself, so that they can complete this 25,000 kilometer national highways, and even they will create a master plan for express highways also. And apart from this quantum jump in the budget, and the government also proposed that around 20,000 crore will be collected through the innovative investment mechanisms from the market. So apart from the budgeted resources, they wanted to collect it from the market in an innovative ways. Like there are many investment funds are there, like REITs, INVITs, like there are many other mutual funds and other bond market is there. So they wanted to collect around 20,000 crore from that. So that is how they are focusing on this road sector or road transport sector. Next, multimodal logistics. See, this logistics is a very important aspect. See, logistics in the sense transportation of goods, but transportation of goods cannot be happen only on one mode. That means you cannot always only transport it on road. Sometimes you may need to transport it on road, sometimes you need to transport it on railway, sometimes you need to transport it on air, sometimes you need to transport it on water, because the geographical based on a geographical location. Suppose just assume a good has to move from Delhi to Kanyakumari. If you simply come on road, then the cost will be very high. Now you need to find a suitable appropriate ways, so that how can we reduce the cost, likewise you need to move. So there must be a coordination among a different mode of logistic transport. That is what we call it as multi-mode logistic transport. Multi-mode logistic, and we wanted to unify a logistic interface platform allowing data exchange among all mode of operators, like means on road, on railways, on aeroplanes, and through the inland waterways. There must be a data exchange. Accordingly, there must be a creation of capabilities, so that a unified logistic interface platform will help us a close synergy among the different logistic operators, and so that we can reduce the logistic cost in this country. So they are focusing on that. It is very important aspect. Second one, open source mobility stack for seamless travel of passengers, and also for the passengers we wanted to. And one important announcement that they have made is this 4 multimodal logistic parks through PPP to be awarded in 2022-23. That means, so they wanted to establish a 4 locations, 4 logistic parks. So what these logistic parks will do? See, these logistic parks, normally it provide some sort of rules and regulations, and also facilitation for the packaging and labeling, because every product must be packed and labeled. So packaging and labeling, it will be done by them. And also the freight information management, how much stock we are getting, how much stock we are delivering, and what is the inventory available to them, and how you can manage it, and how we can transport it, and how we can communicate with the other player. So likewise this logistic parks will do. And also it provides one-stop solution for all services like warehousing, customs clearance, terminals, and everything, because simply you cannot transport the goods from one state to another state. There are some procedural issues are there. That procedural issues will be resolved, and you will get one-stop solution at one center called this multimodal logistic parks, so that it will ease the movement of goods from one place to another place without much difficulty. And it also helps us to improve the coordination between the road, rail, and inland waterways. inland waterways or inland water transport. So, we need to synergize appropriately so that we will reduce the cost of transport of goods, so that we can reduce the logistic costs that improve the efficiency in the economy. So, that is another area where the government is focusing under PM Gadishakti. Next, the another important area is this railway network. Around 1,37,000 crores of capital expenditure is allocated for the improvement of railways, and this year, this under Kavach is something like an indigenous 2000 kilometers. So, Kavach is something like an indigenous anti-collision system, so that it will provide some sort of security and it will avoid the collisions of two trains on the track, and the possibility of the accident under Kavach is 1 in 10,000 years. That means in 10,000 years you may get one accident. So, that is this Kavach system works. This is an indigenous technology and we are extending it for 2000 kilometers. Now, this railway want to use some sort of stations for transportation of some of the parcel movement for the farmers. That means farmers are growing some crops and they are adding some value to some of the crops. Now, what we are going to do is, railways must reorient itself, railways must develop a new products and an efficient logistic service for the small farmers and also small and medium farmers, so that we can develop a one station one product. That means, suppose a people from particular locality will be growing a particular crop or particular fruit or a particular vegetable. Now, this station is famous for exporting that. That means, this station, one station will be recognized that it will be used for a particular product. That means, the entire theme behind this one station one product is providing some sort of transportation services to the farmers for selling their farm produce, so that the farmers will find a better market facilities and also better price finding mechanism. So, railways must coordinate in that, and in that direction we wanted to move. And even integration of postal and railway network, so that the parcel movement can be done in a speedier manner. So, that is one aspect, and 400 new generation Vande Bharat trains we are going to start, and this Vande Bharat Express is an indigenous semi high speed express, and we are going to launch 400 new generation Vande Bharat trains in the coming 3 years. Next, one important aspect under PM Gadishakti is this multimodal connectivity between mass urban transport and railway station. See, this mass urban transportation system is very, very important, because nowadays we are already expanding our metro system. As our urban areas are becoming congested and the population in the urban areas is increasing, if we provide this mass urban transport system, then it will reduce the pollution and also it creates some sort of efficiency in the production process. Because if a person want to move from a one particular area to another area at a stretch of 8 kilometers in a metropolitan area, in an urban area, because of traffic, instead of half an hour, if it takes 1.5 hours, definitely it will reduce the productivity of that company in which this person is working. So, this is very, very important. So, this mass urban transport is also comes under this PM Gadishakti. And when it comes to the hilly areas, it is very difficult to lay the roads, and because of that inaccessibility, those hilly areas is not coming or not connecting it with the mainstream economy. Now, we want, instead of road, we wanted to develop some national ropeways under National Ropeway Mission. So, National Ropeway Development Plans as a sustainable alternative to the conventional roads, so that it will connect the people of hilly area to the mainstream economy, and also it improves the tourism aspect of that hilly area, so that the hilly area people can also earn some sort of money through this tourism aspect. So these are some of the aspects under Gadishakti, Next important area, and this we call it as National Ropeway Vision, we call it as Parvatmala. Okay, government named it as a Parvatmala. Under PPP mode we wanted to develop. And one more thing is 100 PM Gadishakti cargo terminals for multimodal logistic facilities will be developed. Okay, 100 PM Gadishakti multimodal cargo terminals will be developed. Next, the next important aspect is the agriculture sector. You understand the importance of agriculture sector because a lot of people are depending on this sector, and if we develop this sector, definitely the purchasing power of the many people in this country can be improved, that is have its own impact on the other sectors of economy. But apart from the policy issues, because last year the government has brought 3 farm related legislations and later it has withdrawn because of the opposition, but now this year the government has not focused anything on this legislation aspect, but they wanted to bring some sort of technological induction into the agriculture sector. See, one important aspect is the chemical free natural farming is going to be promoted across the country and with a special focus on lands close to the river Ganga. Very important fact. And promoting post harvest value addition, consumption and branding of millets. Because why we are focusing on millets? Nowadays the staple food is rice and wheat, and there are many problems with this rice and wheat, not only to the health but also to the soil health. So in order to diversify our own food habits, now the people has to turn to the millets, pulses and other coarse grains. And now we wanted to promote some sort of value addition and also consumption and branding of millets. According to Swaminathan, he has already said like now the time has arisen that the country must move to the millets. Okay, so this is another important aspect so that it can improve the soil health also. Next, delivery of digital and high-tech services to the farmers in PPP mode. To what extent we can really implement in the rural area is a question mark, but at least if you start introducing this digital and high-tech services to the farmer, at least some of the affluent farmers can utilize it so that the efficiency in the agriculture can be improved. Later over a period of time, the technological aspects can be percolated down to the normal rural farmers. Next, use of Kisan drones to aid the farmers. See, this Kisan drone is a concept. These drones can be used in many aspects in agriculture. Either it is for surveying or either it is for spraying of pesticides or spraying of fertilizers, or different uses are there, and even for the surveillance purpose they can use. But this year the government want to promote this Kisan drones apart from this digital and high-tech services to the farmer. And also the government is announcing its intention to reduce the dependence on import of oil seeds, because almost 60% of our consumption needs are met through the imports, and last year we have already started under the National Palm Oil Mission, we wanted to promote this palm oil, but again the government reiterated its commitment to reduce the depending on the imports of oil seeds. Next, launching of funds with blended capital to finance agricultural startup. So with the help of NABARD, the government want to promote startups in agriculture startups. So these agricultural startups, something maybe they are processing, maybe they are going to provide some sort of technical assistance to the food processing organizations, or otherwise they may provide some sort of machinery to the farmer on a rental basis, or otherwise they may provide some sort of IT related services to the farmers. Anything, but the startups will get some sort of assistance from the NABARD. And one more thing, this zero budget natural farming or we can call it as organic farming must be promoted, and at the state agricultural universities, the curriculum must be updated and the students must get an aware about this zero budget natural farming, and that is what mentioned. And another thing is the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana. Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, it's a decentralized scheme. In this scheme, union government will simply give the money to the state government, and the state governments will implement based on their own requirement. And to this Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, the budget has increased by three folds. That means last year it was around 3,000 crores. Now it has increased up to 10,000 crores. That means the state has given free hand in spending this entire amount of money. That is one important aspect in this. Next, one more important aspect is the cooperatives. And most of the cooperatives runs in agriculture sector, and cooperatives, when they are actually cooperatives under the state government, but through their economic activity, when they are generating money, so when they are generating some profit or income, they have to pay the taxes. But at the union level, there is a provision called, if you don't want to follow the multiple taxation system, simply you can go for an alternative minimum tax. But that alternative minimum tax for cooperatives is 18.5%, but whereas for the company it is 15%. So now the alternative minimum tax on cooperatives has now reduced to 15%. Even surcharge has reduced from 12% to 7%. That means now they don't want to tax more on the cooperatives, so that the cooperatives can flourish and cooperatives can generate more and cooperatives can become more and more profit, and so that they can invest more. So recently cooperative ministry has also started. So in the direction of promotion of cooperative system, we have reduced that. These cooperatives have a strong potential in this country to provide employment opportunities and also create some sort of economic value in this country. So this is something about the agriculture sector in the budget. Next, when it comes to the education system, the budget to the education is increased, but the one important aspect in this education is, last year the government has started a scheme called PM E-Vidya. So under PM E-Vidya, what they have done is, for one classroom they have started one channel. Likewise, for 1 to 12 classes, they have started 12 channels. But because of the pandemic, lot of students are unable to attend the schools properly. So in order to supplement the students who lost their academic years or who are unable to learn the things properly, now we wanted to promote more and more lectures through these TV channels, and these TV channels now increased from 12 to 200. 12 to 200 channels we are going to improve. That is one class, one TV channel program to be expanded. Next, the virtual labs and skilling e-labs to promote the critical thinking skills and stimulate learning environment. For the vocational courses, they have started this. So it's not simply that you are learning something, but apart from that, the critical thinking and also the analytical thinking skills must be improved, and in order to improve that, we have started these labs. And high quality e-content will be delivered through digital teachers, and this will be developed in all spoken languages. So because now the content unfortunately available in only few languages, now we are going to develop the high quality content in all spoken languages, so that the rural people can also be accessible to this high valued content. Next one is when it comes to the skill development. This is again, skill development is an important aspect, because if you don't have a skillful human resources, definitely you cannot utilize that human resource to its fullest potential. Skill development is a paramount important thing, and with this skill development, a sustainable growth can be possible in the economy, because continuously he will work, and for that he need a skilling and he need a reskilling. So a digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood, Desh Stock e-portal will be launched to promote the online training. So this is something like an online training program. This is something like an online training program. In the online itself, you can skill yourself. So it is aims to empower the citizen to skill, reskill and upskill through an online program. So skill, reskill and upskill, three things can be done. This is a portal. That is about thing. One more thing with respect to the skill development is the skilling programs and partnership with the industry will be reoriented to promote the continuous skilling, awareness and the sustainability, and it leads to the sustainable employment. So that means a continuous upgradation must be happen. See, the skilling, a student to industry link must be there, but the student to industry link must always be updated with the changing market needs, and that we are going to do under this. So under skill development, a link between student and industry must be updated continuously, because it leads to sustainable employment and sustainable growth in the economy. And national skill qualification framework, this will decide the standard of our skills. So the national standard of national skill qualification framework will be aligned with the dynamic industry needs. It should not be static. And apart from that, there will be a e-portal which will help us to skill, reskill, upskill. Next. So next one is health sector. Unfortunately, the health sector is a sector which is neglected. The point is, we have seen during the pandemic how bad our health infrastructure is. Though we got some sort of respite from the pandemic, but still our health system must be improved. But unfortunately, there are no enough amount of allocations that are made to the health sector. But apart from that, they have announced some sort of initiatives. They are going to have some sort of impact. One is national digital health ecosystem will be rolled out, because they wanted to create an online portal in which the health facilitators and also the persons who wanted to seek the assistance from the health facilitator, with their consent, a proper online system will be developed, and that will be used for further referrals of the patients, and this will improve some sort of efficiency in this providing providing health services. Next one is national tele mental health program will be launched for quality counseling, because during the pandemic, because of economic stress and other things, lot of people having some sort of this mental pressure, and in order to ease out, they have started this. Next, one more thing is this Anganwadi centers are going to upgrade. This is one important announcement. See, the announcement is around 2 lakh Anganwadis are going to be updated to Saksham Anganwadis. So what does it mean, the Saksham Anganwadis? The Saksham Anganwadis are a modernized Anganwadi system with a clean energy system and having a proper audio and video facilities, and also clean environment, because this is the place where normally the child's developmental process starts, and until and unless we have a proper infrastructure at this level, we cannot expect the child to grow properly. That is the reason why we are focusing on this, and we wanted to upgrade 2 lakh Anganwadis to Saksham Anganwadis, that is a modernized Anganwadi system. Next, one more important announcement that they have made in this budget is with respect to this post offices. So digital banking by post offices, 100% of post offices to come on the core banking system. That means now the post offices will also provide core banking facilities. That means now you can open an account, you can have an ATM, you can draw the money, you can do online transaction, you can take a loan. Likewise, these post offices will do this core banking systems. That what we are going to do. A net banking facility, a mobile banking facility, an online transfer facility, an ATM facility will be done, and this will lead to the financial inclusion. financial inclusion. Financial inclusion will further leads to the inclusive growth. Again, it leads to the guiding principle, inclusive growth. This is one aspect. Next, apart from that, Har Ghar Nal Se Jal, 3.8 crore households to be covered in 2023, around 60,000 crores are announced. 60,000 crores are announced to this Har Ghar Nal Se Jal, that means to provide the piped drinking water supply to the each and every household. Next, Pradhana Mantri Awas Yojana, 80 lakh households are to be completed. 80 lakh households are to be completed. That is their target for this year. And next, this PM Divine, this is very important, because one of the guiding philosophy is to focus on Northeast, because Northeast is very important for us in many aspects. One is security aspect, second one is developmental aspects, third one is connected with the East Asian countries. So that is the reason why the development of Northeast is very important. This PM Divine program is to fund the infrastructure and social development based on felt needs of the Northeast. This is not to supplement any of the existing program. Suppose if any project that is not covered under any of the existing program, those things will be covered under this PM Divine, with a special emphasis on developing the Northeastern area. If you develop the Northeastern area, definitely we can expect more amount of growth in the economy, because we can utilize the potential of the Northeastern people more and more, because if you develop infrastructure, that leads to more economic activity, and it will reduce the divisive forces in this country, and also it will improve the emotional attachment more and more, and also it is help us to implement this Act East policy of India, because this is a gateway. Next, aspirational blocks program. Earlier we have the aspirational district program. Almost 95% of the districts has improved in their basic parameters compared to that state level. Now there are some blocks, especially in the districts, are not doing well, and we are going to select such a specific blocks. Now we are going to implement this aspirational blocks program. Next, this vibrant village program is again very important. One of the guiding principles of this government is protecting the border areas. Especially in the northern border, we are facing lot of threats from the two countries called China and Pakistan. Nowadays the threat from China is increasing, and China is always having an advantage at the border compared to the India, because the border infrastructure to the China is more, whereas when it comes to the India it is less. That is the reason why we wanted to develop the border areas. It's not only the border areas, there are some villages sparsely populated by the people. We wanted to develop the villages of the northern border areas, so that those people can also be developed, and we can take the development to the border areas, and that border areas infrastructure will improve our security arrangements, and also it will improve the patriotic feelings of the people at the border areas. So that is very important. So this is the vibrant village program. Vibrant village is not for all the villages, it is for the targeting development of the villages on the northern border left out from the developmental gains. So if that villages are developed, then definitely we can expect a cooperation from them, and we can do much development in the northern border areas. Next, this is something about that. Next focused area is with respect to MSMEs. See, these MSMEs are very important. MSMEs are very important, because these MSMEs are going to have a potential to create more and more employment, and these MSMEs are contributing to the 30% of the GDP, and in exports they are contributing almost to the 40%. So that is the reason why MSMEs are very important, and MSMEs are the sector which are severely affected with this COVID-19 pandemic. And though the government has provided some assistance, still these sectors are facing some problem, and some MSMEs are able to get an advantage, but some of the contact sectors like tourism, hospitality, they are unable to pick it up because of the repeated waves of attack of COVID-19. but in this already we are having an emergency credit guarantee line program. That means if you take money, if you take this emergency credit line guarantee scheme, that means in the distress, if you take the loan without any guarantee, if you are unable to pay, government will provide guarantee to do that. So likewise we are providing some sort of financial assistance. Now we wanted to add extra 50,000 crores to that, and this 50,000 crores specifically going to the contact intensive sectors like hospitality and related aspects, and we will extend the benefit for 1 more year. That is what we have done to the MSMEs. Second one is this revamping this another program called Credit Guarantee Trust for Micro Small Enterprises. Credit Guarantee Trust for Micro and Small Enterprises. Under this we are going to provide 2 lakh crore amount of money as a loan assistance to the people, so that the MSMEs will improve. Next one is the rising and accelerating MSME performance. In order to improve the performance of MSMEs, this RAMP program has started. This is also going to play an important role. And one more thing is interlinking of various portals. This is something, an administrative process that we wanted to do. Interlinking of various portals. Now we have a various portals called like Udyam portal. Udyam portal. Udyam portal is under MSME. If you want to start an MSME, you have to register with the MSME ministry, and so that you will get one unique identification number. And there is a portal called ASIM portal. ASIM portal. ASIM portal is run by the skill development. It is enhancing the skill enhancement program. So if you register with the skill development ministry, you can update with the new skills. Next there is a another program called e-Shram portal. It is with the labor ministry. It will have a record about the unorganized labor, those who are not getting any statutory social security benefits, and now they will be under e-Shram. And again there is an NCS portal, National Career Service portal. This is also within Ministry of Labor. It will provide some sort of training and career counseling. Now we are going to integrate all these portals likewise, and this skill mapping can be happened in the ASIM portal. Skill efficiency and skill mapping will be done in this. Now with this you are linking the MSME companies with the skilled people, with the social security portal, with the career counseling portal. That means who want to upgrade their skills will upgrade here. Those who are unorganized, they will be here, and those who are skilled and they wanted to map to a particular industry, they will be here, and the industry list will be here. So these portals will be interlinked to each other, so that we can meet the requirements of the companies, and as well as we can improve the social security conditions of the workers, and also we can improve the skill condition or the skill set of the workers who are working in these industries. This is something about the MSME sector, interlinking of various portal, extending ECLGS program, revamping CGT MSc, and also started a RAMP, raising and accelerating MSME performance. So this is another important aspect of the budget. Next, see, the special focus is now on urban areas. This government has focused more on urban areas in this budget, because one of the lessons that we have learned during the COVID-19 pandemic is how we should not build the urban area. An urban area should provide a sustainable livelihood, and there must be an ease of living in the urban area. Unfortunately, our urban areas are so congested, and India 800, that means by the time of 2047, almost 50% of the people in this country may live in urban area. And it is not only the mega cities, but also the tier 2 and tier 3 cities also must be developed. So it is not only mega, but also tier 2 and tier 3 cities must be developed. And for that urban planning support must be given to the state government, so that states will develop in urban areas which will provide sustainable living and also opportunities for all. A living must be sustainable in urban area, and it must provide opportunities for all. And also the modernization of building bylaws, implementing town planning schemes and transit oriented development, these assistance will be given by union to the state. And one more thing is establishing a centers of excellence in urban planning. That means now there are already some certified institutes are there, and in that institutes 5 institutes at the different geographical locations will be announced as some excellence centers of excellence. And what these centers of excellence will do, they will develop an Indian specific knowledge in urban planning and design. So urban planning and design nowadays what we are following is not completely an Indianized planning. So there must be a Indian specific knowledge in urban planning and as well as design. It must be according to the Indian needs, because in India poor people are there, in India street vendors are there, in India some people who still follow the bicycles, and there are lot of specific requirements to India. So that must be provided in urban planning, and further these 5 excellence centers are going to be started, and they are going to provide some sort of inputs so that we can develop our urban areas according to the new upcoming plans. Next, so when it comes to the ease of doing business, the trust based governance is very important aspect. One more thing is lot of obsolete laws, bylaws, provisions we have already removed from our statute books, and we have even started some of the portals for the giving some sort of approvals from the government. Now one more thing what we are going to do is unique land parcel identification number for IT based land registration. See, now the land records, now there is no uniformity in the land records. Though land is completely under the state subject, and the tax on the land is completely within the hands of the state government, but there must be some sort of uniformity in maintaining the records at the national level. So union government is going to provide some sort of IT or software solution to them, so that they can use a software so that they can maintain a land records at the union level. So they use a word called one land, one registration, but that doesn't mean that some other state government or some union government will register the lands. No, it is the state government will do the registration, but to bring some sort of uniformity in maintaining the land records, they are going to provide some software update, and state governments, if they are willing, they can use it. And the land records also translated into different languages, so that they have an idea about where the land is and where they can start an industry or where they can utilize the land. So that is unique land parcel identification number. That means one land will be given some one unique identification number. Next, one more important aspect that they have mentioned in this budget is, see, when it comes to the government procurement, this is very, very important for MSMEs. Government procurement, if the government procures, normally they don't pay the bills in a proper time. But now they have instructing every department that whatever you procure from anybody, 75% of the amount must be paid within 10 days. And they are going to start an e-bill system. Under this e-bill system, after supplying the goods or anything to the governmental department, the contractor or the person must upload their e-bill in the software, and they can track from anywhere regarding the status of their bill payment. That means an easy bill payment must be happen to the suppliers or contractors who supplied the goods and services to the government. If they get this money, within 10 days they can utilize that money for the further investments. One of the problem in the MSME sector is that this lot of amount of resources are clogged either with the governmental departments in the form of bills or in the form of refunds. That must be resolved immediately, so that the MSMEs will get more amount of money and they can use it for the further investment. That is one aspect that they have made. Next, another important aspect they have promoted is this AVCG sector. So AVCG sector means animation, visual effects, gaming and comic sector offers an immense potential to every youth because nowadays youth are focusing on more of these areas, so those areas must be improved. That is one important aspect. And next one, when it comes to the 5G, yes, government is going to start the 5G services by next year. They are going to auction the spectrum related to the 5G, and it is not only the spectrum related to the 5G, but the design and manufacturing of this 5G related equipments will be brought under this production linked incentive scheme. That means the telecom sector is having both the schemes. One is auctioning the 5G spectrum, second one, the people who are involving this production of design and manufacturing of 5G will be get a benefit under PLI, that means production linked incentive scheme. That means if they produce more, they will get more incentive from the government. So that is what they are going to do. This is one important aspect. Next, the another important aspect of the budget is with respect to circular economy. This is very, very important. Environmental aspect, because one of the guiding principle to this government is the climate change. The circular economy means an eco-friendly. So under this circular economy, what they have done is, first one, solar panels under production linked incentive schemes, they have announced 19,500 crore. That means now those who are producing or manufacturing the solar panels or solar cells will get some sort of benefit in India if they able to increase their production. And it is also increases on the duties of, that means customs duties on imports of solar panels and solar cells. So whatever we are importing, on this importing we have imposed a duty. That means we wanted to discourage the importing of solar panels and solar cells. We wanted to promote the domestic production of the solar cells in this country, because our target is very high as far as the solar energy is concerned. Our target is to generate 280 gigawatts of solar energy by 2030. This is what our target, and in order to achieve that target, we are promoting this. We wanted to discourage the imports, but we wanted to promote our own indigenous production. That is one in the direction of the circular economy. Second important aspect in case of circular economy is this biomass pellets. That means the biomass pellets will be manufactured from the agricultural waste, and if we are able to use that agricultural waste properly, then we can convert it into biomass pellets. This year around 5 to 7% of biomass pellets will be co-fired in thermal power plants, resulting in CO2 saving of 38 million metric tons. So that means instead of waste, suppose if you don't use this biomass in a proper manner, it will lead to the burning. So this burning will have its own impact. It has its own impact on the environmental pollution that we have seen in Delhi and northern parts of the country. So we are going to utilize this biomass waste into pellets. So this is another recycling of economy. Second, another important aspect as far as this the circular economy is concerned, we wanted to save the energy in construction of building, because we are constructing the buildings in such a way that it will consume lot of amount of energy, but we wanted to construct an eco-friendly building so that we can save the energy in that, and for that we are going to start an energy service company. This energy service company is going to provide some sort of services how you can reduce the energy consumption in the buildings. Next, another important aspect that they have mentioned is they are going to start some 4 pilot projects to convert the coal into gas, the coal gasification projects, because in the coal gasification projects we will filter out the hazardous elements like sulfur and mercury, so that it reduces the pollution. And also improves the energy efficiency. So this aspect also we have brought in this budget. And another important aspect is blending of fuel. Blending of fuel, that means the petrol and diesel must be blended with, petrol is blended with the ethanol, petrol is blended with the ethanol, and the blending must be up to 10% and diesel will be blended with biodiesel. But anyhow, this petrol must be blended with the 10%. Now the government said that those who have not blended according to our requirements will get an extra imposition of tax of 2 rupees. The intention is to not tax the petrol, but the intention is to convert into the clean environmental or the clean fuel side. So blend, if you don't blend, you will get an extra charge of 2 rupees. So this blending aspect, solar aspect, coal gasification aspect, energy saving in buildings aspect, and also the biomass pellets, these are the important aspects that we have mentioned under the circular economy, under this circular economy. So these are some of the important aspects that they have mentioned under the budget, that they have mentioned under the budget. So if you looking into the different aspects, it leads to the sustainable growth, it leads to the improving skill set so that it creates the sustainable growth, and also it increases the investments in various aspects under PM Gadishakti, that leads to the sustainable growth again, a modern infrastructure, usage of some technological aspects, digitization aspects, digital improvement, and one more thing under National Optical Fiber Network. National Optical Fiber Network. So they are going to lay the optical fiber network to the each and every household, so that each and every household will get an equitable access to the online services, like some should get more and some should get less. No, it's not like that. Under that they wanted to lay the optical fiber to everyone. So these are some of the aspects that are mentioned in the budget that led to the growth, that to sustainable growth, and also it leads to the inclusive and also the environmental or eco-friendly growth. So these are some of the aspects mentioned in the budget on various aspects.
Amrita IAS Academy.